Weston, I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm just sad, man. Now, on a night that's so fun for the Jets, is so depressing for the Rangers. I'm here to talk about Game 51 of the regular season, and the Rangers lose 4-0 against the Islanders. And man, this is the biggest game the Rangers played to this point. This was the biggest game of the year for them. They're playing the Islanders. They have a chance to make it a 3-point differential and a 1-point differential by Saturday if they would have won both games. And they just fall as flat as can be. The offense is horrible. The defense was horrible, and I understand that Ryan Lindgren missed the back half of the game. Shesterkin, I love him. I love Igor Shesterkin. I have praised him so much on this channel. But he looked bad. He got beat on a few shots that I thought were savable. The first goal in particular I thought was just a bad one to give up. Or not the first one, the second one, excuse me. It was a bad game for Igor Shesterkin. There's no getting around it. This was just an awful, awful game from the Rangers, head to toe. Head to toe. This was just bad. I'm simultaneously currently watching the draft as it happens. Thankfully, this just happened. This is huge for Jets fans. The Bears traded up to get Justin Fields, so no Fields for New England, baby boy, which is a positive. But back to the actual Rangers game. This was just bad. It was bad. Penalty trouble early on in the first period, I think it was. I want to get it right. It was Artemi Panarin for tripping, which was not great. That gave them a power play. Pavel Buchnevich for an unexcusable tripping call about midway through. There was no reason to do that. That genuinely upset me. That's an awful penalty to take. You're in the offensive zone, and they already have the momentum, and you decide to do that. There's no reason. There's no point for that. That was awful. That was inexcusable. This was just a bad game from head to toe. The Rangers knew what they had to do. They had to come out. They had to win both of these games. They're playing their biggest rivals in NYC, in Madison Square Garden. On the night they announced the McDonald Award, and congratulations to Fox for getting it. That's awesome. I'm happy he got it. He deserved it. He is probably one of the best Rangers on the staff this year. But this game was horrible. This was just bad. The Rangers came out completely flat. They couldn't do much of anything, really. This was just... It was a game in Madison Square Garden against their massive rivals on a big night with huge playoff implications, and they just completely didn't show up whatsoever. They didn't show up, and there's no way around it. It sucks. I hate saying it again, but at this point, the season is pretty much over. It would be nearly impossible for the Rangers to make a playoff push at this point, which sucks. And now, where you're at is there's 5 games left, all against really good opponents. You have 1 more against the Isles, 2 against the Capitals, and then the last game against the Isles and the first game against Boston is a back-to-back, and then 1 more against Boston. And that's it. That's how you cap off the season. So give your young players, Zach Jones, Lafreniere, Fox, even though he's been here for a little bit, Kakko, DiGiuseppe, maybe even Blackwell, Lindgren if he can come back. I know he got injured, which was bad. Kravtsov, Hedl, Miller. Give all the kids as much time as you physically can. Call up anyone that's on the teetering on being called up. Call him up. I love Jacob Trouba. I thought he had a really underrated season this year. Let him stay. Don't bring him back. It's okay. He doesn't have to. Let Kreider heal. Don't rush them back. There's no point. Let them heal and be ready for the next season. And as for this one, I'm going to have a much longer eulogy for this season after it's over and talk about if I view it as a success or a failure. Spoiler alert, I'm still in the opinion that it was a success, even though we're missing the playoffs and missing it in this horrible, horrible way. But that's all to be discussed next Saturday, probably, after the Rangers game against Boston. I'll talk about all of that. But this is a hard one, and Boston also won, to my knowledge. I want to make sure, 5-2 over Buffalo, so that's pretty much all she wrote. We'd have to basically win out, and Boston would have to basically lose out for us to make up those points, which is a bummer. But it happened, And all you can do now is just write out the last few games. I'm in favor of calling up every kid you have. Give the kids that are currently up all the ice time possible. And that's really it. Like, I wish I could go longer, but this is just a fail. You know, this was a bad season. And as for, like, individual things, there was some stuff that happened in the first period. 6:27 gone away. Komarov got a goal to make it 1-0. Wallstrom, 12:39 gone, had a goal. In the second, Anthony Bavillier had a goal at 1:03 gone. And then there was the Matt Barzal empty netter that pretty much cinched it. And that was it, The Rangers had some... Micah Pearson's going 12th to Dallas, so that's neat. Sorry, it's on in the background. And that was it. Rangers, just rough game. This is bad. And Buchnevich also had a penalty. Buchnevich and Wallstrom offsetting in the second. So that happened. We had a couple of power plays, but we couldn't do anything out of them. It was a really physical game. Brendan Smith had a really nice hit. Lindgren, like I said, just got checked face first into where the bench and the glass meet, which that looked bad. He left the game immediately after. And then there was a play towards the end where Filipino just got kind of checked into the boards and went face first. So that looked painful. Hopefully he's back. But if it looks like it's 50-50, don't rush him back. Just let him go, relax, and chill, and wait for next year. And that's it. I'm sad that this video is the way it is, especially on a happy night, because the Jets, they got Zach Wilson, and I'm going to be talking more about that later on. But that's all I got for right now. That's all I have for the night. So, I'm sorry that I'm not high energy, but this was a bummer of a game. They needed to show up in a big way, and they just completely wet the bed. There's no other way to put it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Rangers.